Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Quality Magnify India. Myself Deepak Kumar Samal, welcome you all to my channel once again. We are continuing with APA 653 and we have started with APA 650. As I told you, to understand APA 653 in service inspection of tanks, it is first requirement that you should understand APA 650. What is construction of tank? If you understand properly the construction, then only you can go for the in-service inspection. So as I told you, APA 650, there is few questions come in APA 653 exams, around 20 to 25 questions, and we have covered almost 1/3 of APA 650, and by this part we'll completely close APA 650 course. After that we'll start APA 653. APA 653 is a chapter which covers around 90 to 95 questions out of 170 questions. As I told you last times, there is total 170 questions come, including closed book and open book. The closed book is around 110 and the open book is 60, plus or minus 2-3 questions like that, and out of which 25 questions from APA 650 will cover both the open book and the closed book. So we have discussed and we have highlighted those points where the open book and closed book exam is there, and by this part we will close APA 650 last part. So friends, let's start. One more request to all of you friends. I see there are a lot of views coming for my videos, but most of the people are not subscribing to the channels. So it's a request, you have to watch those videos, and if you watch those videos, please do subscribe and share with your friends in order to grow this channel. So let's start friend, APA 653 training course part 4. So last parts we have already covered up to section 8, and in section 9 and we will go for few annexures. Okay, by this we will complete APA 650. So section 9, as I told you last time, it for the welding procedure and the welder qualifications. What is the welding procedure and welder qualifications we need? So the erection manufacturer and the fabrication manufacturer, if other than the erection manufacturer, shall prepare the welding procedure specification. So not the purchaser. Okay, who will prepare the WPS? The erection manufacturer or the fabrication manufacturer has to make the WPS in accordance to how? By as required by section 9 of the ASME code and any additional provision of the standard. Additional provision is section 9. So as we told, there is a possible question, so open book will come. The welder qualification and the WPS should be done by APA 650 section 9 and ASME section 9. Welding procedure for ladder, platform assemblies, handrails, stairways and other miscellaneous assemblies but not other attachments to the tank shall comply with AWS D1.1, 1.6, section 9 of ASME code, including the use of standard WPS. So here there is some requirement. You know the P number and the G number. P number for ASME is the base metal number, and group number, why we identify the group number? When there is a impact testing is required. If the impact testing is required, then the G number is needed, and if impact testing is required, then all the supplementary variables become supplementary essential variables become essential variables. Okay, that we will read also, because I will cover ASME section 9 in this APA 653 module. So that's what it is saying. Material specification listed in section 4, but as I told you, here in APA 650 there is no P number, that is group numbers. Okay, how many group of materials? Group 1 to 6 is there. Group 1 to group 3A are the low grade, and from 4 to 6 are the high grade. So what is saying? Section 4 of the standard but not included in table QW 422. But not included in the QW 422. This is the table, okay, of section 9 where the material specification is there. Then it should be considered as a P number 1, CS materials, okay, and follows according to the minimum tensile strength. If the tensile strength is less than 480, then it is group 1. If it is 480 to 550, group 2, and if it is more than group 550, then it is group 3 materials. Protective coating has been applied to the surface to be welded. The coating shall be included as an essential variable. What is the protective coating? Actually, it is used to save the edge. Okay, usually many fittings or many plans, attachments, they are coming with pre-beveled. So for that pre-beveled area, to avoid those corrosions, sometimes a protective coating is applied. So that's what it is saying. If the protective coating is applied, then it is an essential variable. Okay. Impact test. Already we discussed about impact test. In my previous videos, I have explained to you what is the impact test requirements, what are the how to do the impact test, what are the values, what is the sample how you have to take, what are the transverse values and longitudinal values it come for the impact testing, all we have discussed. So here in impact test, what is saying, for all material to be used at a design metal temperature below 10 degree C. The qualification of the welding procedure for vertical joints will include impact test of the weld metal. If the material to be used for design metal temperature less than 10 degrees C, then a impact testing for the weld metal is much needed. Okay. If vertical joints are to be made by a machine, automatic, semi-automatic process, impact test of the heat affected zone also shall also be made. Heat affected zone impact testing also it is required. So here is a table. Sometimes this table is asked in the question, in the open book questions. Okay, if the P number and G number is this much, then what should be the average 3 specimen impact value? Already I explained you how to do the average, what is the minimum impact testing and what is the average impact testing values. Okay. Qualification of welders. Each welder and welding operator shall be assigned an identifying number, letter or symbol. This is important and this question usually comes in closed book exam. Okay. Each welder and welding operator shall be assigned an identifying number, letter or symbol by the fabrication or erection manufacturers. Identification of weld joint. How the weld joint identification is done? Not more than 1 meter along the welding welds. Okay, every 1 meter distance they have to put a symbol. Okay, who did the welding? It is either by hand or by machine. Marking. This marking no need to remember. Okay, this is nameplate marking. You have to refer this one because this question usually come in the open book. They will give something like that. Use SR1 when only plus type clean out fitting and plus type cell connection have been thermally stress relieved. If it is like that, then in the nameplate we have to write SR1. If something else, SR2, SR3, SR4, nothing to remember. Only you have to follow nameplate and you have to remember where it is in the code book. Okay, it is an open book question. Certification. The manufacturer, after let's say the tank is made by a manufacturer, they manufacture the tank. Then after manufacturing, they have to give a certificate to the purchaser. Okay, telling that this tank is manufactured by them, built in this year, what is the PSI, how much pressure, everything, at what pressure it is hydro tested, everything they have to give, and this is called a certification. The manufacturer shall certify the purchase, certified to the purchaser by a letter such as shown in figure 10.2. There is a letter is there, okay, that the tank has been constructed in accordance to the applicable requirement of the standard. Okay, design. The maximum tensile stress before the joint efficiency factor is applied is 21,000. This is for NX1. Okay, NX1 is optional design basis for the small tanks. Okay, so that what we are doing for now, all the chapters are completed. Okay, up to chapter 10 we have completed, chapter 9 we have completed. Now there is few annexures, we have to read those annexures in which different types of tanks requirements are mentioned. Okay, aluminum tank, stainless steel tank, small type of tank, low capacity tanks, those tanks requirements are mentioned on this annex. So the first annex is design basis for the small tanks. So the small tanks is up to 21,000 pound-foot per inch square. Okay, so the scope is the annex provide requirement for field erected tanks of relatively small capacity. Okay, small capacity in which the stressed component have a nominal thickness no more than 13 mm. Okay, the annex is applicable only when specified by the purchaser and is limited to design metal temperature above 20 degree F and above 20 degree F when killed and fine grained metal is used. This is not so important, but this is important. This is usually they ask for annex 1 what is the maximum capacity. Okay, recommendation for design and construction of foundation for above ground oil storage tank. So this is annex B. as Annex A we see there is Annex B, and here are some requirements. Unless otherwise specified by the purchaser, the finished tank grade shall be crowned with its outer periphery to its center slope 1:10 feet. This is the requirement for Annex B. Okay. Earth foundation, how it has to happen? Large tank and tank that heavy or tall cells and or self-supported roof impose a substantial load on the foundation under the cell. Self-supported roofs means there is no column. Okay. This is the roof, shell and bottom plate. If there is no column, okay, there is no column, then it is called self-supported roofs. When a concrete ring wall is designed, it shall be proportionate so that the allowable soil bearing is not exceed the ring wall shall not less than 300 mm or 12 inch in thick. Ring wall means when you make the foundation, there is a ring wall, okay, above which the annular ring will be there, and here it is filled with soil or sand. Okay, so that's what it is asking. When the ring wall width exceeds 18 inch, using a footing beneath the wall should be considered. Footing may also be useful for resistance to uplift forces. Okay, footing, when they are saying footing, do you understand what is footing? Ring wall, it is a structure like that, concrete structure. Okay, but footing, beneath the main concrete structure there is another one structure, concrete structure, we call it footing. Below that there is also another one structure coming. It is not asking, I am just telling you. It is called blinding, footing, then the structure. Okay, so it is telling if it is more than 18 inch, then a footing is required. Okay, this is called footing. External floating roof, we already know external and internal floating roof. Already I have explained to you. Internal floating roof, there is a fixed roof on top of the external floating roof. We call it internal floating roof. So for external floating roof, the application of corrosion allowance shall be matter of agreement between the purchaser and the manufacturer. Corrosion allowance shall be added to the required minimum thickness, and when no minimum thickness is required, added a minimum thickness required for functionality. Okay. So minimum wall thickness for the external floating roof is 6 mm. Maybe it's a open book questions. Okay. Decks, what are the requirements? Conductive part of the external floating roof, what is the requirement? Stones shall be 50 mm or 2 inch wide by 28 gauge. Okay. Austenite stainless steel is a minimum. Stones, it is saying means even though there is a CS, the CS tank, the stones should be austenite stainless steel. That's what it is asking. Okay, for external floating roof. Pontoon openings. Pontoon is something which is attached to the roof. Okay, floating roof. The pontoon is there. The pontoon minimum nominal size is NPS 20. Okay, ladders. This is important. Okay, ladder. You have to remember. I find this question many times. Okay, the ladder shall be designed for full roof travel regardless of the normal setting of the roof leg support. The ladder shall have full length handrails on both sides and shall design for a 4,450 ton or 1,000 pound foot midpoint load with the ladder in any operating positions. Okay, primary roof drains. This is also important. Roof drains should be NPS 3 for roofs and with a diameter not less than 36 inch or 120 foot for smaller than NPS 4 for roof with a diameter greater than 36 inch. So NPS 4 for more than 36 inch and NPS 3 for less than 36 inch. That's what it is asking. Emergency roof drains. Okay, minimum 3 open-ended emergency roof drains should be provided. This is also sometimes a closed book questions. Okay. Roof manholes. How many manholes depend upon the diameter it is required. It is open book questions. If the tank diameter is less than 200 feet, then 200 to 300 is 3, and less than 300 D is greater than 300 is 4. Okay. So drain pipe and hose systems for private drains shall be tested with water with a pressure of 350 kilopascal or 50 psi. Okay. Internal floating roofs. What are the requirement of internal floating roofs? What is the steel requirements? Okay, here it is written on the steels have minimum nominal thickness. Aluminum, if you are using steel, what is the thickness? And if you are using aluminum, what will be the thickness? These are actually not so important, but it is part of Annex H, might be part of annexers. Might be you will not find many questions, but there is some sure 2-3 questions it will come. Okay. All internal floating group design calculations shall be based on the lower of minimum design specific gravity. This is point 7. This is important. Internal floating group, because if you will not take the lower one, if you take the higher one, maybe it will collapse. If you have to take the lower one, and the lower one is 0.7, okay. And here it is one important. If the fluid stored and the seal material, what will be it is, okay. Seal materials means it is between the roof plate and the cell plate. What is the sealing material they are using? For the crude oil, it is urethane, nitriles. All these things you have to check, and you have to find out if there is any open book questions, okay. Roof penetrations. Column, ladders, and other rigid vertical apparatuses that penetrate the deck shall be provided with a seal that will permit a local deviation of plus minus 125 mm or 5 inch. Okay. Manhole and inspection hatches. So manhole, fixed roof manholes and floating roof manholes, what are the inspection hatches? Here some of the dimensions are given. 600 mm or larger, and for floating roof, at least one internal floating roof deck manhole shall be provided for access to and ventilation of the tank. Okay, so that's what it is saying. How many manholes? It is not so important. Okay, cathodic protection we'll read when we go for 651, 652. At that time, lining, cathodic protection, we'll read that one. Okay, we'll cover this. Here it is showing, it is the concrete foundation, it is the bottom plate, it is the cell plate, and here there is soil or sand. So why this pipe is given? Drain pipe. Why drain pipe is given? Actually, it is a perforated pipe. Perforated pipe means this pipe having many holes. Okay, they make many holes. There is holes in this one. Okay, so why this pipe is given? The reason is, if there is any leak in the bottom joint, okay, bottom plate, the leak will come to downside and it will come through this pipe and come out. So when the water will drip outside, the operator will find out there is a leak in the bottom plate and they have to find out. So this is the reason the drain pipe is provided. And NXM, the most important question which usually come in the exam, NXM is API 650 is up to 200 degree Fahrenheit, and NXM from 200 but not exceeding 500 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so these are some of the very important questions I already discussed with you for API 650. As I told you, if you highlight all those points with closed book and open book exams, you will definitely find more than 22-23 questions in the exam, and it is easy to get it correct. So kindly check those questions, make note, watch the videos regularly, take important notes from the video, and then practice it again and again. Then you can easily score a good mark for API 650. Then, as I told you, API 650, by this slide we are completing API 650. Further we will move to API 653. You now get an overall idea how the tank is, what are the requirements, how the design is done, how the fabrication is done, what are the materials they have used, how they erect it, how they inspect it, how the welder qualification is done. So all these things overall you get it clear. So by this, when we jump to API 653, it will be easy for you to understand. Many thanks to friends for watching my videos. I hope these videos are getting a lot of help in your career, and please watch those videos, like those videos, and subscribe to my channel if you didn't subscribe till yet. So please subscribe to this channel in order to grow this channel. Thank you for your time. Thanks so much for watching my videos. Have a good day.